the like and subscribe and the comment and the clicking the bell icon for notifications. Just do all those kinds of fun things that are fun. Those are fun games that we should all play.
Thundercats is yet another 80s cartoon that we are reviewing today.
Thundercats is sight beyond sight.
Thundercats has a distinct lack of meteorology in it that disturbs me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fallingtower's Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series so that you don't have to. And today, as you may have guessed, we're doing Thundercats 1985. With us, as always, the original Thundercat, but they left him out of the 1997 version for some reason.
2011.
Whatever. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg. He also
there was like another one too, like a little man, I can't even remember what it is now, but it was like a weird, like a short little line.
Oh yeah, that just like 2 or 3 years ago came out, and it looked like little Pokemons or Digimons, or something like that.
So also, there are several generations of Thundercats.
Right. We are joined by meteorologist Katie. To know her is to love her, but it's hard to know her. How are you?
I am great. I am getting ready to do some storm chasing, and I'm getting sleep hopefully in the next few days. So I'm glad about that.
Not tonight.
You're also looking very bright today, Katie.
I am indeed. I have my lights set up. Apparently there's this filter that makes you beautified on Zoom. So I just, bring the radiance that I always bring to the room.
So everybody at home, first things first, please make sure that you give this video a like. Please make sure that you, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And be sure to comment below your thoughts on Thundercats 1985. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a good one. And if you want us to review a show, say WTF Fraggle Rock, that means watch the first. Or you could say WTF Super Friends. Ooh, that's a good one. We should do Super Friends. Or whatever.
Another 80s cartoon. Ryan.
Is it 70s or 80s? I don't even know.
It must have been 80s because I remember watching it. But
I feel like they had bell bottoms.
They had bell bottoms in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. I
don't even know what show you're talking about. I wasn't even born until 96, so this is all for me.
You were born after all of these cartoons that we remember.
This is all retro to you.
Oh yes, and I still feel nostalgia for it, even though it is before my time.
So, speaking of which, unless I'm forgetting something, let's start the show off with my favorite segment, which is predictions. Michael and I have known each other since before Katie was born, actually.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
Right, and we've liked each other for about that amount of time.
Yep.
And so we can pretty much predict usually if the other person is going to like it. Katie, feel free to also predict, and everybody at home and in the live chat right now, make your predictions. Do you think I liked it? Do you think Michael liked it? Do you think Katie liked it? It's all retro to her. Here we go. I predict, Michael, that you are slightly below medium on it, because a lot of times when we watch an 80s cartoon that we remember that is really good, you see it and you go, this isn't as good as I remember it being. And you've said
so
this.
What would be medium?
A 5.
Like a 5. So you think I'm below 5?
You can be right around a 4. And you've definitely expressed this many times that it's a disappointment upon revisiting it as an adult. Katie, I think you didn't have high expectations, but I think that the severe lack of meteorology also disappointed you. You're going to give it somewhere around. You're going to give it a low score, like a 3 to 4, I think.
Really?
Okay. I think that Ryan, like so many other 80s cartoons, very much enjoyed this. In fact, I think that he enjoyed it so much that he enjoyed it even more, thinking that I would not enjoy it too.
Ooh, good.
He thought,
I
oh,
am a
here's
sadist.
another one. Here's another one that I can jam it to Mike and like show him what's what and tell him to watch a thing that he used to love in the 80s and ruin it for him again. And then Katie, despite her disappointments from the lack of meteorology, I think that she found it nostalgic and cool.
Oh.
Alrighty.
To use some of her own words against her.
Yeah,
Against
there
her.
you go. Well, Michael, I'd say that you found it extremely nostalgic and found parts of it that you thoroughly enjoyed, but were deeply disappointed in something. I don't know why, because I can't put my finger on it either.
She's like crystal balling this. She's like, there's something. I sense something.
Something's wrong with the Force. I'd give it you're probably going to go mid-range. I agree with Ryan. And then Ryan, you're probably going to be like a 7 or 8, just because this seems like the kind of vibe you, as a kid, little Ryan probably was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then you turn it on, you're like, I still love this. So I'm guessing you're going to be in the upper range. Michael's pretty much in the middle.
Okay. Boy, everybody, make sure you've got your guesses in. We all have great poker faces. Now, you have plenty of time to put in your guesses for everybody, as Michael lets us know what the heck is Thundercats even about, which came out in 1985, specifically this first episode entitled Exodus.
Thundercats is about a team of humanoid cats fighting evil in their adopted homeworld. In this episode, Wise Jaga leads a group of nobles, the Thundercats, as they escape their home planet of Thundera with direction to the third planet of a small solar system.
Can I have you narrate my life, please? Because that the energy you put into it, just.
I like it too.
Meteorologist Katie Nicolau joins us today on Watch the First.
We do intros during our morning show. You should do my intro. I want it like a WWE SmackDown, like going into the ring.
Oh, he's good at doing the announcers on wrestling. And you notice how she called it WWE without even thinking, because they probably changed their name before she was born too.
Yeah.
They had a different name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be WWF.
Oh, like the World Wildlife Fund?
Right. In fact, I was just looking for my water bottle. I've got a WWF water bottle, like the actual World Wildlife Fund.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah. So
no idea.
Now people are going to start to be able to figure out and piece together if their predictions are right, because then we play a game called What We Expected versus What We Got. So we compare and contrast what we expected before we watched the episode versus what we actually got.
I mean, Josh Sussman would say that this is not really a game.
It is a game.
I think it's a fun game. But
it is a game because you compare and contrast. It's like, I expected this, but then this happened. And you're like, it's like they're two action figures that are, So, Michael, before you watch this episode, deep breath. What did you expect?
Yes.
By the way, this is a birthday present from Ryan T. Husk.
Ooh.
It's a Japanese alcohol-free lager, and it's delicious.
But is it good though?
It's delicious.
Is it refreshing?
It is delicious. Yep, and refreshing.
Nice.
But also, I'm stalling because I wanted to also say that I got some lovely.
I also
gifts
ate all your
our...
cookies, by the way, from your birthday.
Oh,
I think they're all gone. I've eaten all your cookies, so thank you.
Those are the birthday gifts that I got for Ryan. So we get each other gifts. But I got some other gifts. I got some other gifts from Eve England out in Wales, and she got me this card with a little TARDIS on it. The TARDIS showing up in like Japan, and there's like Doctor Who stuff on the back, and it came with like a TARDIS like drink coaster, because she knows I like Doctor Who. And she also, in this package that has a Doctor Strange stamp on it from England land.
Doctor
Wales
Strange. Wow,
land.
nice touch.
I know, right?
I'm telling you,
knows.
Eve is an angel. She listens and she calculates. She knows that Doctor Strange brew is one of Michael's 2 favorite Marvel guys.
Well, she knows he's in my top 3, but she also knows he's my number 1. And then she also sent me these delicious chocolates, vegan chocolates too. So she knows what she is doing.
Right. I read the thing. It said it's made
delicious.
It's made mostly from nut milk. We love nut milk. Well, I mean, since we're comparing, this is what you got me for my birthday. And make it so, number 4. But then I also got some chocolate as well, but it's in the other room. Sorry about that. But I tasted mine and it was also delicious.
Yeah. The point of this all is that the other people that watch our show are dropping the ball. Eve England is winning this game.
Yeah, she's
getting us presents.
She is winning the presents game. But there's still plenty of time to catch up.
There you go.
Anyway,
bribery takes you far in life.
So obviously what I expected was to once again be disappointed by one of my favorite shows from the 80s. When I was a little kid, I had the Sword of Omens toy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did you look through it like this? Did you?
Oh, I always did. Sight beyond sight.
And still a little cross-eyed.
I think I also had that claw that he wore. He didn't wear it in this episode, but he had like a claw that he would wear too. So I was a big Thundercats fan, and once again, He-Man, Voltron, Robotech. Actually, I kind of liked Voltron, but Robotech, He-Man. Probably the Smurfs too. And whenever somebody actually tells us to watch the Smurfs, Melissa Longo told us to watch the Smurfs. But,
right. We owe her
whenever we get around to it, then I'll probably be disappointed by the Smurfs as well. Transformers.
So that makes sense.
That's what Katie, I expected.
Katie, what did you expect before you watched this episode?
I had never really heard of Thundercats before, and so the closest I could imagine is like the old McDonald's Happy Meals with the like tiger action figures for some reason. And so that's what I expected. I was just like, okay, this is probably going to be about cats that have superpowers. And maybe like I didn't look into it at all. I think I remember vaguely something about this. So going in, I was just like, this is going to be an 80s thing. Prepare for the 80s animation and the weird storylines. I wasn't disappointed.
Oh. What about this part?
That
actually, we'll get
that
to that
part could get
Ryan, you're jumping ahead. We need to talk about what we're expecting first.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I expected since we're on that subject. Well, I expected, like Mike, to maybe not like it.
I'm Mike.
Much.
I'm Mike. That's Michael is actually long for Mike.
Yeah. M is short for Mike. So the thing is like, I don't think I was as big of a Thundercats fan as other kids. I was more of a Transformers and G.I. Joe and Robotech kind of guy. Thundercats were there, but they were a solid level lower, or maybe even 2 levels lower. So there was a little bit less of that expectation on there, but I felt like it was more of a cult classic, because when you say Thundercats, everybody knows that you say ho. When I say Thundercats, You say ho,
Ho!
Thundercats, ho,
Ho!
Okay.
Really?
I mean, kind of like that. So anyway,
for a different time.
yeah, they were fun times. So the point is that I was expecting to moderately enjoy it because I moderately enjoyed it as a kid, and that's about where it was. But that's what we expected. Michael, what did you actually get? Were you disappointed? Uh-oh, yeah, sounds like
yes and no. So one thing I didn't expect was that it was like sci-fi. I mean, these guys are aliens. And it seems like they landed on Earth. It was like the third blue planet of a solar system. So that alludes to Earth. And you would think that they would land on Earth for some reason. But for me, Thundercats was always, I remember it always kind of being like more fantasy. You know, there's like swords and nunchucks and bolos. Ghosts. And I didn't actually remember the ghost. I didn't remember that there was a force ghost in this. But yeah, I didn't really remember that it was sci-fi. So that actually was a little bit of a bonus to me. But I'll tell you what I did not like, what I did not expect that I got that I didn't like was Snarf. And here's the thing. I think that when I was a kid, I used to like Snarf.
Right.
Snarf. Oh, Snarf. That's what like. That's his name, but then he like says it a bunch too. He is when I rewatched it this time. I mean, he was super annoying. Super annoying. Snarf. Oh, Snarf. Oh, he's supposed to be like the comic relief. Oh, he was just stupid. Oh man, idiotic. Man, I must have been an idiot when I was a kid. I think all kids are idiots anyway, so
you're probably right.
Yeah.
Well,
to
Katie,
some extent, yes.
What did you actually get? And by the way, look forward to the fact that if you think Snarf is obnoxious, just imagine that he's in every single episode.
Oh, really?
I mean, presumably. I don't know.
Right.
No, when it started out, I thought it was like, on Earth or some mystical fantasy place. And then you realize they're aliens and you're just like, okay, I'm already thrown off. What is this? So the entire time I felt like I was backpedaling, trying to catch up. But it was so weird. Like the cartoons I grew up on were not like this. I watched Arthur. This was a totally different realm of cartoon. I love the animation and I got what I expected. But the story, never in a million years would have expected what that was. Like the picture behind you, Ryan, just a bunch of naked cats.
Not just naked cats, but naked cats with no genitalia, naked cats that
I mean,
that
the way
look like
he's really holding.
They look like they're like action figures, like the way that their legs just meet their body, their torsos. It's like, okay, so these guys are just action figures then, naked action figure cats from outer space.
Well, let's talk about the nudity a little later. Let's finish up on what we got, because I feel like that's a big subject. I'm glad you guys agree with me on that that's a big subject there. Katie, so that's what you got?
That's exactly what I got. I was like, all right, weird story, nudity for some reason, and cool animation.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I got. I got a show that was, it was dumb. I was it was dumb. I was disappointed. I thought that the bad guys were complete wimps. Like I was like, these guys are pathetic and they are not go-getters. They give up extremely easily. A gust of wind comes and they're like, we better retreat. That's it. Give up. They were very dumb. What I got was a show that was kind of a disappointment. and not very good. So let's get back to naked talk, because this is important here, and I didn't want to take away from that. It is interesting that, like, maybe they're wearing underwear in Mike's picture there. Maybe they're wearing underwear, but why would their underwear match their skin tone and fur coloring perfectly? Like, look at Panthro,
right?
Like it even.
And it just melds perfectly with the rest of their body too.
Maybe it's a bodysuit.
Also, why are they wearing belts? Like, of all the clothing items you could choose,
I know.
belt?
Well, and then Jaga gives them clothes somehow, like at the beginning. And it's not even he gives them clothes. He like waves a magic wand type of thing.
Whoosh.
And like makes them clothed all of a sudden.
Because they needed like battle armor, but it wasn't even like really that good.
No,
right?
It wasn't. It was just.
And this, I felt this was a very naughty scene, by the way. The reason I took it because he's like pumping and undulating while he's holding the sword, and he's really. I'll be honest. I rewound it a few times because it was. I was like, are they really? Is this? I'm like, they're really being weird about this.
Yeah.
That was the scene that just the screen grab. It shows you the animators got away with something there. Like, the old man watches child cat hold a sword.
He's like, try it. Just try it.
So bad.
And then the sword is like small at first, and then it grows. So.
Yeah.
When he gets really excited about fighting, it just whoosh.
So everybody at home, thank you so much for not clicking away yet. We appreciate this. I mean, look, we don't have to harp on it. We don't have to beat on this too much, but it was, I remember when I first saw these naked people, I was like, were they naked? I don't remember them being naked. This is like,
nope.
It's like an uncomfortable feeling seeing that. And then when he added the clothes, I was like, oh, I get it. But then why did they need that?
Right. Why did they have it so that they were naked at the beginning, and then he gives them their clothes and their weapons? Why can't they just have that? Is that important of a plot point that they needed to have them be naked at the beginning and like, here's some clothing.
Now go to bed.
Right. And I feel like, that maybe that was an important plot point for them to say, like, this guy's given a sacrifice and bestowing these gifts but then why couldn't it just be weapons? Or an amulet, he didn't need to give them clothing. Like, anyway, I think we agree on that. That look, give them weapons, or he could have given them these snazzy belts. He could have been like, here are some belts for you guys to always remember me by. And the other thing is, as Katie said, then now go to sleep. They said, look, time slows down in those whatever. Things. So,
but the passage of time does not stop.
Right. So shouldn't he go into those incubators so that time slows down for him, and then have the youngsters drive? Because then they can age no problem, and his age slows down, and then everybody lives.
But what he said was that even if he got into a pod, he wouldn't survive the trip. So apparently they were so far away. And he is so old that even if he was in the pod, with the slowing of aging, he would still have died.
But then he really couldn't have gotten them that far at all. He couldn't have taken them halfway or most of the way, because like if it's way slowed down in the pod and he got them, like if he would have died in the pod, you have to assume that he could have only gotten them maybe 10% of the way on his drive, on his flight, or I don't know.
Even if you're 50%, I mean, still it's kind of like, then
couldn't be 50. He would have survived in the pod then.
Then it's up to the robot pilot anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants some peace and quiet for his last moment.
Yeah.
Good point.
You kids, I'm gonna die to get away from you.
Yeah.
But I'll still be around as a force ghost.
Ooh.
Here's my other problem with the aging, the slow aging in the pods. So Lion-O's a kid, and by the time they get to Earth or wherever they land, he's an adult.
Yeah.
But then these two kids
are the same.
Yes.
Are there still kids? Like why are they kids and then Lionel ages into an adult? Is he like that much older of a kid?
I think they're just perpetually, I think that's just their species. You know, they're just little childlike kitties, you know, little impish
but they
little
didn't
things.
they didn't even say anything to explain it. Like they almost
Guess they
did.
just...
And I was like, oh, when they got out of the pods and the kids were like saying something, I was like, oh, they're gonna explain it now? Nope.
Yeah.
Right.
I imagine they're probably just like, sci-fi. We need kids in the episode to draw in the audience.
Right,
Sci-fi
yeah.
blanket statement.
Yeah.
And
Now,
Lionel
talking about...
Go ahead.
ahead.
No,
Well,
please.
it's kind of a different subject, but if we're talking about characters and like their designs, okay, Cheetah Lady with the kiss kind of eye makeup, that is not anatomically correct for a cheetah. I'm just saying, y'all should have had like 6 of those running down her chest, like get the teats out. Should have worked that way. If you're gonna do it, commit.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think, Mike? She should have had more boobs.
Well, yeah, that's a very good point. But she doesn't even have nipples. She just has boobs with no nipples, and they're naked, but there's no nipples there anyway. So
now, guys, I don't think we need to worry too much about how anatomically correct they are, because if you'll notice, they also have arms and fingers, which cats don't have. So, you know,
no
junk, as Michael keeps pointing out, and no junk,
and no genitalia. But I think it's creepy that Lino goes into the pod as a kid, and Chitara is like a older lady. She's an older woman at that point, and then Lino like comes out of the pod as an adult cat male thing. And then Chitara's like, oh, and he's handsome too.
Yeah.
That was a kid. You knew him. He was a little kid.
5 seconds ago, he was 9.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I felt a little queasy from that myself. First thing she says, she has like 3 lines in the whole episode, but one of them is like, and he's handsome too. Meow. And Lionel was a dummy, by the way. When he wakes up and he's bumping his head and he's doing, it's like, okay, we get it. He doesn't have to like stumble 10 times. Like, what? Yeah. My hands? Why are my head and my arms are big and I'm bumping my head? Whoa! And I'm okay, dude, stop. Figure it out, dude. Jesus.
Not only that, he completely forgot about the Sword of Omens and the Eye of Thundera. Yeah. He had just learned about that, like in his mind, because he went to sleep. It was like 10 minutes ago that he's like, oh, the Sword of Omens and the Eye of Thundera. Okay. And then he goes to sleep and he forgets all that. Like,
why the amnesia? That's one of the questions I ended up with at the end of the episode. Is, why did you add that in? No one else is affected.
Right.
That's true. Yeah. I was wondering the same thing. I was like, are they going to address this, or is it? And they didn't even say that you might have amnesia or anything like that. And like you said, none of the other characters had it. It was just another weird thing added that didn't really make sense. That didn't work for me.
Come on, you 80s children's cartoon TV writers. What do you got? You're killing us here.
40 years later, we're just disappointed.
Okay. Let's
35.
Let's give another thing that, look, since you mentioned, whatever the hell it was that reminded me of it. There was a point at the end where it seems like there was one scene where they stole like 3 or 4 things. There was Jaga being Obi-Wan, the Force ghost, right? Mm-hmm. Suddenly I'm like, oh, wow, that's just like Star Wars. And I was like, haha, that's cute. That's funny. And then 5 seconds later, I realized that he's going this thing, ching. And I'm like, oh, he's copying He-Man now, right? I have the power, by the power of Grayskull. And then right after that, shing, the sword throws out the bat signal, the cat signal. I'm like, that's like Batman. I'm like, this is like, how many cartoons or shows can we copy in a 10-second span? And they just were knocking them out. It was like bingo. It was like copycat bingo.
Snarf.
Yeah. Oh, they copied Jar Jar for sure with that one. Before Jar Jar even exists. Like, just copy.
He felt like the Orko to me. He was more complainy than Orko, but I never liked Orko when, during the He-Man days. I didn't like Snarf. Like, I just never needed the shitty character. I never needed the idiot. Like,
but
I get it was comic relief. Yeah.
But for an idiot kid in the 80s, that's probably like one of their favorite characters, because I think that I really did like Snarf. Yeah, so.
The thing that I couldn't get out of my head when seeing him was my brother, when he was little, had this cat toy, and he would hold that thing by the tail and drag it through the dirt and whip it around and throw it around. Like, he loves cats and he's very gentle to the actual living ones. Toy. But yeah, the toy cat, he did not care. And I'm just like, you know what? He seems like the kind of character that just gets dragged through the dirt and no one cares about this and this. And he's just obnoxious. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to be much of an impact on this story. Probably not.
Oh, Snarf.
He's just going to be there for the punching bag and the lines, the one-off lines.
Also have a question about, and I'll just pull them up here, because I had this question as soon as he popped up. I was like, does anybody know what? I mean, look, we get there's like a jackal guy, and we get there's like a monkey guy or gorilla guy, but do we know what the heck Slythe is?
Oh, gosh, like, it's worse up close.
Like, clearly he is some kind of reptile issue, but then when I was a kid, I just kind of assumed, I was like, okay, there's the jackal guy, there's the monkey guy, and then there's like the lizardish guy. But the more you look at it, I'm like, what the heck is he? He's not like an animal.
Creature from the Black Lagoon type of guy.
Exactly.
Because he looks kind of lizardly, right? But then, or maybe like a dinosaur, like a stegosaurus kind of thing. But then he's got these ears that, and I mean, what the hell? He looks like a He-Man toy.
He's a buff sea monkey.
You want to talk more about lazy writing? The Thundercats are from a planet called Thundera.
Yeah.
The mutants are from a planet called Thundar.
I didn't even notice that.
Wow.
Really? They should be from Mutantera or something.
Oh, man. Thundar?
Thundera
and Thundar.
Just make it Thunder at that point. Just
Thunder.
Oh, my gosh.
Thunder. Thundercats.
Or make it something completely different so it doesn't sound almost exactly like the planet of the Thundercats.
Yeah. And also, why did their planet blow up? Was it the mutants? Like, was it ever said why it just...
No.
Great.
We did.
Okay.
Well, that was the other thing. I mean, none of this story made any sense to me. They're just hanging out in a spaceship, and then he's like, oh, by the way, come check this out. Look, this is this planet that's blown up. That's your home planet. First of all, how come nobody knew about this? And secondly, how did they not know that they're orbiting their own home planet? Like, there's just no awareness of anything going on. Nobody knows what's happening. Were they just living on that ship the entire time? Did they just leave the planet? In which case they would know that they left the planet and that's it. And they would know why they left the planet. I mean, it was just like, and so I guess as kids, we just don't even think about it. We just go, okay, and move on. But you still could have made it interesting.
Exactly.
Or make it make sense in some way.
Mm-hmm. It would have been so easy. Just be like, hey, we finally returned to our ancestral home that's being destroyed by blank. Boom. One line. Solved it. Mm-hmm. Come on.
And okay, another thing that bothered me.
Oh boy.
There's no Mumra in this episode.
Yes. That's the main bad guy, Katie. Yeah, and we're waiting for them to meet Mumra.
He shows up in the credits, in the opening credits. You see Mumra.
Okay.
And he's not in the episode at all.
They just want to like dip their toes into the show, just not freak you out too much just yet.
Introduce him in the sec. Maybe he takes over because he's like, dude, you guys are such wimps. I'll handle this.
Yeah, so but he's like the leader of the mutants, and so why?
Why is I remember when because I think they wake him up. They go into his tomb. I think that's how the story goes. They like go into his tomb. They're like, what's this? And they wake up this mummy, you know, this earth mummy or something like that. And then he becomes like their leader or something. He's their Skeletor. Right, and I remember when I was a kid, my favorite, well, you know what? Let's just talk about our favorite characters. When I was a kid, my favorite characters were the monkey guy and the jackal guy. And I remember always being frustrated that they always lost every fight and they always sucked. And not only did that they lost every fight, but that they were also idiots, that they were, you know, it's like one or the other. Let them at least be a cool character that loses the fight, or, you know, a dumb character that wins some fights. But it was just like, give me something. And sometimes that Slythe guy would win a fight against them or something. I'm like, these guys are like the absolute bottom of this show. And those were the two characters that I liked. We kind of liked Panthro. Panthro was the other one that I liked when I was a kid. That's really it. Who's your favorite character, Katie?
Design wise,
Chitara.
Yeah. I like, oh gosh, what's the old guy's name?
Jaga.
Yeah, Daga, because he had clothes. I was like, okay, yeah, he's cool. He's the leader, nice design, and sacrificing yourself for the better of everyone else. So yeah. I liked it because of that. I want to meet this baddie, though. I might have to I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jaga Wan Kenobi, yeah.
Yes. He showed up as a ghost. I'm just like, Star Wars. Not even trying to hide it.
Mm-mm. Well, he disappeared like Obi-Wan too, like when he died. So
yeah, just whoosh.
My favorite character, since I was a kid, Panthro.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about him. I don't know if I liked Panthro because he had nunchucks, or if I liked nunchucks so much because Panthro had nunchucks. But when I was a kid, nunchucks were like my favorite martial arts weapon. Like I had the foam ones. I'd play around with them all the time. I thought they were badass. And I don't know if I liked Panthro because he had nunchucks, or liked nunchucks because Panthro had the nunchucks. So, but either way, they're both fused in my memory as being one and the same. So,
you know, I feel the same way there, where when I was a kid, you know, obviously of the good guys, Panthro was the cool one. And he had the cool voice too. You're like, yeah this guy's cool. And he made the nunchucks look awesome. And it made us want to play with nunchucks and be Panthro and all that. Katie, real quick, just so you can see this Mumra guy. He's pretty cool looking too. He's kind of evil looking.
Oh, nice color scheme. I'd be kind of freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, pretty.
Yeah,
you know.
They made him look even scarier for the 2011 one.
Which one is that? This one?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe that's a toy. I don't know.
That'd be a cool toy.
Yeah. So, but I didn't like him as a character, but he adds to it. Anyway, boy, we're saying a lot of bad things. Let's. So we couldn't, but you guys don't have any answer. Like, what's up with Slythe? Was he a lizard, a gator? He was kind of like Gollum. I mean, I don't know. Was there anything that you did like about this show?
Yes.
Was that a burp? That was
in my ear.
I'm drinking some non-alcoholic beer. So
there you go.
Happy birthday, Mike.
That was impressive.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you also, late. But I wished you happy birthday already.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to both of you at some point in time.
When's your birthday, Katie?
November 9th.
All right, happy birthday. Early
you've
birthday.
Got a little while, yeah.
When the trees have all died, or the leaves have all died, and the snow quite isn't here yet. So
happy belated birthday then from last year.
Thanks.
Early birthday from me.
There we go. We got it all covered now.
So come on, guys, let's start showering this show with positivity.
Well, for me, it was the sci-fi aspect, the fact that these guys are aliens, and that makes more sense of why they're. If this is Earth, they don't really say that it's Earth, but it kind of they kind of allude to a blue planet that's the third planet in the solar system, and um, so yeah, if this is Earth, then that makes sense that they're aliens from another world, and that's how they exist on Earth because we don't have anything like that on Earth. Maybe they populate our Earth with all the wild cats that we know. Maybe that's where cats come from. But I liked the sci-fi aspect, the fact that they have all this technology. I suppose I should have known when I was a kid because they had that cool fortress and like the Thundercats mobile.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
they've got like a cool like Batmobile, but for the Thundercats. So that's
Just like
another way.
He-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep the ripoffs coming.
yeah. So that's another way that they ripped off Batman and He-Man. But for me, it was the technological aspect that these guys are like a super technologically advanced alien race.
Nice. I
Katie, what do
think
you think? What jumped out as you at you as like, wow, this part is really cool.
I think overall the design was really cool to me. I've noticed that in recent years I focused more on the design of shows and the animation styles, and this just screams nostalgia. So that made it enjoyable. You could throw a terrible show at me if it was animated in this style. I would at least have some kind of enjoyment from it. And it's a cool idea. Just alien
Mm.
cats coming to a planet with mutants of all these species. Like it's so weird that you want to know more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Our good friend Mr. Paul Hickman would agree with you because he says that all cats are aliens. That's his theory. So anytime I send him a cat video of a cat doing a weird thing, he says, "Told you they're aliens." So maybe these guys are on to something.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
While you guys were saying that, I was trying to think that I should try to come up with something that I liked about it. But every time something cool was about to happen, like when the mutants were coming down, I said, "Oh, cool! I remember these guys. 2 out of 3 of these guys are cool, and I get to watch them do something cool or show off their cool abilities because we see the good guys' abilities. These guys have abilities." It was just like, nope, these guys are complete wimps. They are terrible. They're just the worst of the worst. They have no skills. They have no intelligence. They just like, I was just like, whoa, what's the point of these guys? They're dumb. It's like a rainy day. They're just like, oh, it's raining. All right, here's an umbrella. Done. That's what these guys are like. Oh, it's mutants are coming down. All right, let's do this. And they'll leave. Actually, one thing I really did like, first thing we see, no, first thing we see, that opening song kicked ass, and I loved it because it shows up. They're like, dude, nunchucks, sword. I'm the girl that runs, and these guys are like the Jubilee people.
Thundercats.
And so I was here for it. They had me at the word go. I was like, yes, awesome, exciting, fun, go. And then it was like,
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are cool. I don't remember the words.
Are loose, I think. Anyway, so that's the big one for me was the opening song, and I think that's it for me.
Yeah. I think we covered it all.
Okay, so
all right,
I guess it's time to kind of put that away for a moment. We're going to get to the bottom line of that in just a moment, but before we do, we're going to talk to our friend meteorologist Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So first things first, how have you kept yourself busy over the last year? It's been kind of a wacky year lately. I don't know if you noticed, but how have you kept yourself busy?
Mostly been getting more into nerddom and fandoms. I've also continued podcasting. I have my own little YouTube channel, So Many Random Fandoms, or Smurf, as many people have decided to call it, as I enjoy. But yeah, I've started up talking about the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we've been doing streams. It's really fun. I've been working on a ton of cosplays. Like, for real, International Quidditch Association certified breakaway broom.
Hey,
Yeah,
Very nice.
slowly expanding my collection.
how does
And
it break away?
Half of us are very impressed by this.
and the rest are just nerd. Yeah, no, it's great because there's that little bit of a divot here, and so when you're running around, if you like run headlong into someone, it'll actually snap, so you won't impale someone on the Quidditch pitch. So if there's ever an actual league anywhere near me, you'll find me out there.
It's
I just have to
on,
get
yeah.
healthier. Yes, I have also gained much weight over the last year. So,
So what position would you play? A bludger, a seeker?
Keeper. Because
Keeper?
I can't run worth a dime. I am very slow, so keeper would probably be the best.
That's like a goalie, Ryan.
I figured because they call keeper, like, you know, goalies are keepers, goalkeeper as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's just been getting so much into Quidditch and all these things that probably will never happen, but it's a good way to waste some time.
But I do think it's interesting that people are doing it for real and like no positions and okay.
Oh yeah.
How many players are on the field at a time, or the air or whatever?
I believe you have two beaters.
Bludgers, two beaters with the bludgers.
Yes. And then a seeker, right?
And a keeper.
And then I think you have 3 chasers.
Yeah.
Or is it 4? I think it's 7.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, so 7 probably.
Interesting.
Little asterisk, maybe.
Although the seekers aren't necessarily on the field all the time.
Well, we have to consider the golden snitch, which is just a dude in like a yellow tracksuit who runs around and you have to catch him. It's great. Oh, we put him to sleep.
I blame myself. I did it to myself. Michael is a big Harry Potter fan.
Yes.
I'm less.
So you can
big
get your
Harry
own
Potter
broom
fan.
too.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a huge fan. I've only read all the books and seen all the movies. So,
have you been to the theme park?
I have, yes, and
there you
ridden
go.
the rides. Yeah,
you've completed it then.
Where's the theme park?
Universal
Orlando.
Oh,
and they have one
I actually haven't been to the
Devil's
Orlando
Small
one.
one.
I've been to the Hollywood one.
Oh my gosh, you got to go to the Orlando one is amazing.
Have you been to the Hollywood one?
No, I've only been to LA once, and I hated it so much. I gotta go. I did a couple of studio tours when I was out there, and I just after almost being attacked in traffic, we're just like, let's head back to the Midwest, guys. Oh, okay, let's go.
That's a thing that happens.
Yeah,
but that's Harry Potter. Beyond that, Beyond that, what is the name of your podcast, by the way?
Yes. So the one that we have going right now every week, Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, because different time zones. It is Order of the Blue Lotus, which is a playoff of Order of the White Lotus from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And for anyone who isn't familiar, if you like animation or you just want a traumatizingly good story from a children's TV show, check out Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not the movie, the show. It's on Netflix. Everyone got back into it over the past year. So
is that a WTF? I feel like
gosh, have you not done it?
No, I feel like somebody.
We have not.
Maybe you're the one that recommended it.
Oh, I gotta get back in. I have to recommend it every single time. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it went from, oh hey, this is a goofy kids show to genocide in the second episode. You're just like,
oh, whoops.
Spoilers. Oh, come on.
It's not a spoiler.
How do we even know if we're going to watch the second episode?
We might not make it that far.
It's in the promos. No, it's so good. It's so good. You guys got to watch it.
The Last Airbender?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that mentioned, at least in the chat or something.
Oh,
okay.
You guys would love it.
But
and when you watch it, you can come on our podcast.
All right. But besides that, what are you working on next? That's currently happening. Do you have anything new, big and exciting happening? By the way, what's up with Orville Nation? Have you seen them in a while?
Yes, I've been hanging out with Orville Nation. We're still doing our Dark Matter Mondays
Awesome.
with the creator of the show, which is insane. And now we're reviewing the Orville, getting ready for season 3. So excited. Jay Lee stopped by from the show. We were just like,
really
oh,
great.
that's so cool. They know who we are. But for myself, the next big thing is going to be my fandom forecast is finally being able to be revived. You know, the last year we were shut down, we couldn't actually film. And so we filmed last weekend a Doctor Who fandom forecast.
Hey.
And it's finally in post-production. We're hoping to post it by this weekend. Just a few computer glitches we must tinker with, but it works actually in the overall theme of the way the forecast went. So
Wibbly wobbly, right? Timey-wimey.
Exactly. I mean, I learned how to say Raxacorica phalopatorius very quickly. It's very difficult to spell, but saying it's better. So I'm hopeful everyone will enjoy it. And of course, my TikTok, I'm still trying to grow that. I have like a bunch of people now who ask me weather questions, which is all I've ever wanted. So it's really fun.
Yeah, Michael and I are really working diligently on our TikToks as well.
Yeah,
It's getting there. It's getting there.
I gotta follow you guys then.
Mike made
TikTok,
a
TikTok.
time joke. There we go. That was good.
Oh, yes.
So Katie's information is going to be in the description box below, guys. Go check it out. She's got so many cool and interesting and amazing things. Her TikTok like blows up with things. Her social media blows up with things. She always does these cool viral stuff. You gotta check it out.
Ooh, yes.
Or check it out.
But now it's time. It's very.
Oh, I was gonna say it's very chaotic, but I didn't want to cut
Yes. Mike was doing his karate chop, which means it's time for the hiya bottom line. That sounds like Heihachi, the guy from Tekken back in the day. That was before you were born too, Katie, or right when you were born?
No clue.
Heihachi. Anyway, so it's time for the bottom line. Mike tends to call it the terrible twos, but we usually stick with the bottom line. Here we go. Final two questions of the show. They're the two most important questions. And by the way, guys, please remember to comment in the comment section below. Please remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and share this around. Tell your friends. This is a good time. Let's have it together. Here we go. Question number one is, on a scale, oh man, yeah, this is gonna be depressing. On a scale of 1 to 10, Michael, what would you give Thundercats Ho! Episode 1 from 1985 entitled Exodus?
Is it called Thundercats Ho or it's just Thundercats?
It's just called
That's what I was having confusion about, but
it's just called Thundercats.
It's a chant.
But I can't say Thundercats without the ho.
Ho! So yeah, despite being sorely disappointed by some things and annoyed by some other snarf things, and being put off by the naked Thundercats at the beginning of the episode, and there were some cool things. Obviously, Panthro is awesome. He kicks ass with his nunchucks, which is
nice thighs too.
A pleasure to see. Yeah.
That dude is built.
And I like, and I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that they're aliens and on a science fiction spaceship, and they're traveling to a new world. So that was all pretty cool to me, but I was disappointed, and so I'm only gonna give it 5.5.
Okay. Thundercats making a comeback a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right.
Still, I mean, I wouldn't say that I hated it, because then I would have to be below 5.
Katie,
but
no wonder that's where I reside. I'm probably gonna go and say that this show was entertaining in a very strange look through the past looking glass kind of way. But yeah, you got the nude cats, the weird story, and the useless villains. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. Probably, like you mentioned, like a cult classic kind of thing. Definitely in a niche, just not mine. So I'm gonna go with a 3. The only reason it's getting that many is because it is definitely a unique story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The more I talk about it, the more I realize that there was very little I liked about it. I was just not fulfilled in any way. Like, even when there were points where I'd get excited, be like, oh, cool, awesome, you know, and then I would just be disappointed over and over again. Not like terribly disappointed, just kind of like what the hell, man? What are you guys writing an episode, or are you just throwing words out onto a piece of paper and, you know, and saying, kids will watch anything, those little idiots. Screw them.
And we did watch.
So I'm going to give it a 3. Truly, I think, you know, I feel terrible saying this. I truly feel like it might even deserve slightly less than that. But I like Thundercats. I want it to do well. You know, I have fond-ish memories of them. I liked the characters. So I want to kind of give it a little bump up and give it a 3. It's not an angry or harsh 3. It's more like a tough love kind of 3. Like, come on, Thundercats. We know you're better than this. We like you and we have faith in you. But right now, you know, you're not
this
doing,
episode. Though.
Yeah, you gotta step it up. You gotta step it up, Thundercats. We're rooting for you. But that's that. The real question is, guys, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Thundercats entitled Exodus. Now that the podcast is over and we're all free to move about the internet, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, would you of your own volition watch the second episode?
Well, I have to admit that there is a certain amount of curiosity, and that you have to take into consideration that this was just their first episode, their first time out, their first at bat. So it could get much better. You know, we're hoping to see Mum-Ra. But unfortunately, no, I'm not. I can't. No, Snarf. No Snarf.
All right. That was kind of harsh. Not terribly harsh. It was nice enough. Katie, would you watch the second episode of your own volition, theoretically speaking?
Snarf.
No. Like my channel is so many random fandoms. Thundercats will not be one of them, probably. But
that would be random.
Oh, that would be very random.
But
is there really a fandom? Is the question?
I'm sure there is. On some deep dark corner of the internet, there is. But I can't get over the fact that it doesn't have lightning and meteorology in it. It just let me down from the get-go. So
or genitalia. Yeah.
Exactly. You're missing out on some key things here.
Mm-hmm. Well, boy, oh boy. I hate to be the contrarian of the group. So I won't be. Look.
Yeah.
Here, okay. Let's take a walk with me real quick, just for a moment here, guys. I thought Michael was actually going to say what I'm going to say here, which is I watched this last night. When it ended, I was like, so what's the story with Mum-Ra? I want to see the magic when they meet Mum-Ra and they have a new leader, or there's like a little power struggle. And I actually said, click to play the next one. But at the same time, I was struggling because I was like, my answer is that no, I would not watch the second episode based on this first episode. Yet here I was saying, well, yeah, but I just want to see this. So I literally had to close the tab and not watch it just so that I could say, truthfully, no, I would not watch the second episode, because otherwise I'd be like, based on this first episode, I would not watch it. No. But then I couldn't really say that if I go, but I kind of did. But yeah, because the truth is, based on this episode, no, I would not. If I watched the second episode, it would not be based on that first episode. It would be based on my memory of the show before. But if I'd never seen the show ever before and I just watched this, hell no. No way. No offense. So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying no. And I had to walk the walk.
I was very tempted to also, but it was getting late because I watched it last night as well. And I was like, I can't waste another half hour of my life watching this show that I did not that let me down from what my memories were as a child. I guess I can't really say that I didn't like it because I did give it above a 5. So technically, according to Josh Sussman's law, I
Yes.
had to liked it some amount, but yeah, I would say I was the same way. I was like, I didn't want to watch the second one and be like, oh well, I watched it, and then I can't come back here and say, oh no, I wouldn't watch it.
Yes, this is absolutely a thing. The Sussman law is a staple now. That's the truth. The Sussman law is if you rate something a 4, you did not like it. That's the law. Okay.
Right.
Well, we're really sorry, Thundercats. It's not that we hate you. It's not that we're mad.
We're just mad that we hate you.
Michael and I really wanted to watch more, honestly. Katie, did you even want to watch more, or were you like, thank God it's over?
The second it reached the end credits, I closed out of the window. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, this isn't my thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Thundercats are on the move.
I'd listen to the theme song again. I wouldn't watch another episode.
Yeah. All right. I'm good with that too. All right. Well, I guess that's about it. Everybody, please make sure to comment below and tell us what you'd like us to review. Honestly, even if it breaks our heart to do it.
If we break your heart by reviewing a
that's
show,
even better. Yeah, I like doing that. So
okay,
that's about it. We want to
forget to tell us what to watch and click like and subscribe. All those, the like and subscribe and the comment and the clicking the bell icon for notifications. Just do all those kinds of fun things that are fun. Those are fun games that we should all play.
Show the support.
And follow Katie on her social media. We'll have that linked below. Now, I guess that's about it, right? The bottom line here. Oops, I shouldn't use that again.
We already said the bottom line.
This podcast was a little depressing, but very fun.
This podcast was on the move. This podcast was loose.
This podcast was the most socialization with 2 other human beings that I've had for quite some time.
Aw.
Nice. Oh, I think I should have said this podcast was naked until an old man gave us clothing.
Yeah.
But then that's
and weapons.
Weapon.
Yeah.
Now, everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us. Please feel free to share this video around. And always remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg likes to say.
Don't forget, register to be an organ donor. If you're not, and even if you are, just make sure you are. Do it, please.
Sign up twice.
Yeah, why not? You can't give away too many organs. And
wait a second.
Also, maybe Panthro gave away his organ. Anyway.
And also, don't forget to watch the first of things.
Hell yeah.